Have you ever noticed things that everyone else seems blind to? Patterns in human behavior, hidden motives behind a friend's smile, or truths that society desperately tries to ignore. If you have, then you already understand a secret most people never admit. They fear what they cannot see. Carl Jung, the pioneer of analytical psychology, warned us about this very danger. To perceive what others cannot is both a gift and a curse. It gives you clarity that others crave, but it isolates you in ways that words cannot describe. Imagine standing in a crowded room, yet feeling completely alone. Your mind notices contradictions, whispers of hidden truths, the subtle lies that everyone else overlooks. While they laugh, celebrate, or argue over trivialities, you are silently aware of realities that could shake the very foundation of their comfort. This awareness sets you apart. It awakens a strange kind of vigilance, a heightened sensitivity that can feel more like a burden than a blessing. Yet, society rarely rewards those who see too clearly. Most call visionaries eccentric, paranoid, or worse, crazy. Their truths are inconvenient, their insights unsettling. Carl Jung understood that the mind capable of seeing the unseen carries a weight most cannot bear. When you notice patterns others ignore, when you understand the undercurrents of human behavior, the world begins to feel heavier, more complicated, and sometimes even dangerous. The deeper your perception, the greater your isolation. This is not a call to despair, but a call to awareness. The price of insight is high, but its potential is greater. Those who can navigate this terrain, who can observe, reflect, and act wisely, hold the keys to profound understanding. They can anticipate dangers, reveal hidden motives, and even guide others without their knowing it. But it requires discipline, courage, and a mind resilient enough to withstand ridicule, misunderstanding, and solitude. Carl Jung's warning is simple yet profound. Seeing what others cannot is a path of power and peril. It can make you dangerously aware, painfully isolated, yet uniquely capable of influencing the world. The question is not whether you will see the truth, but whether you are prepared to face the consequences of seeing it. To understand what others overlook is to hold a mirror to society itself, a mirror that many refuse to look into, but one that may define your destiny. Perceiving truths that others cannot see is not just a skill, it is a responsibility. Carl Jung believed that our inner vision can reveal the hidden layers of reality, the unconscious forces shaping human behavior, and the patterns that govern societies. But here lies the paradox. The same insight that gives you power also makes you vulnerable. To see clearly is to carry a burden others cannot comprehend. Think of it like standing on a mountain alone. From that height, you see the paths, the dangers, the opportunities that lie ahead. The people below are aware, content in their limited view. You can warn them, guide them, or even protect them, but often they resist your vision. They see your clarity as threat, your foresight as arrogance. The higher your perception, the lonelier your journey. Jung called this the loneliness of insight, a state where knowledge separates you from the comfortable ignorance of the majority. Yet, this burden also comes with an extraordinary gift. When you see what others cannot, you gain the ability to navigate life with precision. You recognize deceit before it strikes, opportunities before they appear, and the true nature of people before it is revealed through action. You become a quiet observer in a world driven by noise, a strategist in a society blinded by immediate gratification. This kind of awareness allows you to act intentionally rather than react blindly. It transforms ordinary moments into lessons of wisdom, revealing the subtle threads that connect cause and effect in human behavior. However, this gift demands courage. Being acutely aware of hidden truths can be terrifying. You may notice injustices, manipulations, or dangers that others ignore. It can be painful to witness hypocrisy or selfishness in people you trust. Many try to silence the voice of insight, either through ridicule, dismissal, or even hostility. Jung warned that without resilience, this heightened perception can lead to emotional exhaustion, anxiety, or despair. The mind capable of seeing the unseen is also capable of carrying immense suffering if it is not tempered by self-awareness and emotional strength. This is why Jung emphasized the importance of balance. The visionary mind must cultivate inner discipline, a framework to process what it perceives without being overwhelmed. Reflection, meditation, and conscious engagement with reality are essential. When insight is paired with emotional stability, the individual becomes a beacon, able to illuminate the path for others without losing themselves in the shadows. Your vision becomes not just a personal gift, but a tool for transformation, both for yourself and for the people around you. Understanding what others cannot see also shapes your identity. It forces you to confront uncomfortable questions about morality, purpose, and truth. You cannot escape the responsibility that comes with knowledge. Every decision, every observation carries weight because you understand implications that others overlook. Jung's warning was not a discouragement, but a preparation, an acknowledgement that insight is both powerful and perilous, and that the one who perceives must tread carefully, wisely, and deliberately. In essence, the danger is real, but so is the opportunity. The visionary mind walks a thin line between brilliance and isolation, clarity and despair. To embrace the ability to see what others cannot is to accept the paradox. With great perception comes both profound influence and profound responsibility. The path is not easy, but for those who master it, life becomes a journey of unparalleled understanding, growth, and purpose. Once you have glimpsed the realities hidden from most, life changes. The world no longer appears as it did before. Carl Jung taught that those who see deeply often find themselves in conflict with the ordinary, the conventional, and the complacent. The challenge is not only in observing the unseen, but in navigating the emotional and societal consequences of this perception. When your mind discerns what others ignore, you encounter a landscape both enlightening and treacherous. Consider the patterns of human behavior. Most people act on impulse, habit, or comfort. They accept narratives without questioning the hidden motives behind actions, policies, and social structures. When you see beyond these illusions, you recognize the subtle manipulations, the unspoken biases, and the concealed agendas that shape outcomes. It is like standing in a crowded theater where everyone watches the stage, but you notice the strings above, the mechanisms behind the scenes. The danger lies not in seeing, but in understanding the responsibility of what your vision demands. To ignore the unseen truths is to live half awake. To confront them is to risk alienation. Isolation becomes a constant companion. Those who perceive deeply often face misunderstanding, criticism, or outright hostility. Friends, colleagues, and even family may interpret your insights as cynicism or arrogance. Jung noted that profound awareness can make one a mirror reflecting others' blind spots, a reflection they may resent. You may feel the weight of secrecy, the tension of knowing more than you can openly share, and the anxiety that accompanies foresight. Yet, this isolation is also a crucible for growth. It forces the mind to cultivate resilience, patience, and emotional intelligence, essential tools for anyone walking the path of heightened perception. Key lies in translating insight into action without harm and wisdom without arrogance. Knowledge of hidden truths is not a license to manipulate or dominate. It is a guide to navigate life with integrity. Jung emphasized that the individual who understands more than others must also act with self-discipline. Observe without judgment, intervene with purpose, and maintain balance between awareness and detachment. This balance protects your psyche from despair and prevents the vision from becoming a source of bitterness or isolation. Furthermore, seeing what others cannot reveals profound opportunities. While most remain blind to subtle patterns, the perceptive individual can anticipate outcomes, build meaningful connections, and create positive change. Recognizing hidden dangers allows one to act preemptively. Noticing unspoken truths in relationships fosters deeper empathy and understanding. Jung's warning was not only about danger, but also about potential. Those who navigate the shadows with care find themselves empowered, capable of influencing reality in ways unseen by the majority. Ultimately, Jung's message teaches that perception is both gift and responsibility. The world is complex, layered, and often deceptive. To see it clearly is to accept the duality of insight. It illuminates and isolates, empowers and burdens, inspires and tests. The journey demands courage, discipline, and a constant confrontation with the unknown. But for those willing to face these challenges, the reward is unparalleled. The ability to engage life with clarity, purpose, and a depth of understanding few can imagine. To walk the path of the perceptive is to accept that truth is rarely comfortable, yet it is always transformative. Those who see what others cannot are pioneers of consciousness, charting territories of mind and spirit that remain invisible to the complacent. Jung's warning resonates because it is timeless. Awareness is perilous, but without it, growth is impossible. The danger exists, but so does the extraordinary potential to shape life with insight, courage, and integrity. Seeing what others cannot is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is a calling. Carl Jung emphasized that the mind capable of perceiving hidden truths carries a responsibility, the responsibility to act with purpose and integrity. Awareness alone is insufficient. The true test lies in translating insight into meaningful action. The perceptive individual must navigate the delicate balance between understanding the world and shaping it, without falling prey to cynicism, frustration, or isolation. In daily life, this manifests in countless subtle ways. Relationships, for instance, reveal layers often unnoticed. A perceptive person discerns unspoken tensions, hidden motives, and concealed emotions. While others may react impulsively, the perceptive individual can approach conflicts with calmness and strategy. Jung referred to this ability as the capacity to integrate the unconscious with conscious action. By recognizing underlying patterns, one can prevent misunderstandings, foster empathy, and cultivate trust skills that are rare and invaluable in a world dominated by superficiality. On a broader scale, heightened perception equips one to navigate societal and professional landscapes with foresight. Many people operate within narrow frameworks, bound by convention or routine. They see only what is presented on the surface, unaware of the forces subtly shaping outcomes, power dynamics, hidden biases, or systemic flaws. Those who perceive beyond the surface gain an extraordinary advantage: the ability to anticipate challenges, identify opportunities, and influence outcomes strategically. Jung's teachings remind us that such perception is both a shield and a tool. It protects against manipulation while providing a means to enact meaningful change. Yet, this path is fraught with challenges. Awareness brings with it the burden of knowledge, the mental strain of constantly questioning appearances and motives. Emotional resilience becomes essential. A perceptive individual must guard against despair and disengagement, as seeing hidden truths can often highlight injustice, hypocrisy, and deceit. Jung warned of the risk of alienation. The more one sees, the less one fits into the conventional world. To thrive, one must cultivate inner strength, mindfulness, and a disciplined mind capable of processing complexity without being overwhelmed. Purpose emerges when perception is guided by ethical clarity. Knowledge of the unseen should not lead to manipulation, arrogance, or withdrawal from the world. It should inspire responsible action. Whether in relationships, work, or society, the perceptive individual must act as a bridge between hidden realities and conscious choice. By doing so, they transform insight into power over others, but power to create impact, foster understanding, and inspire change. Jung also emphasized self-awareness as a cornerstone of this journey. To perceive beyond the ordinary, one must first confront one's own unconscious biases, fears, and limitations. Reflection, self-discipline, and honesty are essential tools. Only by understanding oneself can one navigate the complexities of external reality with clarity and integrity. This internal work ensures that perception does not become a source of ego or isolation, but a path to wisdom and resilience. Ultimately, Part 4 highlights a central truth. Seeing what others cannot is a profound opportunity to live intentionally. It is a chance to shape life, relationships, and society in ways invisible to the complacent majority. Jung's warning underscores the dangers, but also the immense potential of heightened perception. When paired with purpose, resilience, and ethical clarity, the perceptive individual becomes a force capable of creating transformative impact. Awareness alone is dangerous. Awareness with purpose is revolutionary. Perception alone, no matter how deep, achieves little unless it is applied. Carl Jung insisted that the mind capable of seeing beyond ordinary appearances carries not just insight, but the responsibility to act wisely. Part 4 explored how awareness can guide purpose, protect against manipulation, and create impact. Part 5 takes this further. It shows how such insight can be integrated into everyday life, transforming ordinary moments into opportunities for growth, influence, and moral strength. Consider the workplace. The perceptive individual notices dynamics that often go unnoticed: subtle power shifts, unspoken frustrations, hidden talents. While many colleagues react only to immediate events, the observant mind identifies patterns. This ability allows one to act strategically, resolving conflicts before they escalate, fostering collaboration where others see competition, and making decisions informed by unseen factors. Jung's philosophy reminds us that perception without action is incomplete. It is insight applied that brings real change. In personal relationships, heightened awareness can be equally transformative. Many people miss emotional cues, misinterpret intentions, or overlook silent struggles. A perceptive person recognizes these layers: a friend masking anxiety, a partner suppressing resentment, a family member concealing fear. By observing, listening, and responding thoughtfully, the perceptive individual cultivates trust and empathy. Jung emphasized that this requires patience and humility. It is not a matter of using insight to control others, but of using it to nurture understanding and strengthen connections. Heightened perception also equips one to navigate societal challenges. Systems of power, social hierarchies, and cultural norms often operate beneath the surface, influencing outcomes invisibly. Those who see these currents can act decisively, avoiding traps, identifying opportunities, and contributing meaningfully. Jung's warning is clear: this awareness can be dangerous if it fosters cynicism or detachment. Yet, when guided by ethical principles, it becomes a profound tool for constructive influence, enabling the individual to act in alignment with truth and integrity. The emotional dimension of perception cannot be ignored. Recognizing hidden realities often comes with discomfort, frustration at injustice, sorrow at human suffering, or anxiety over uncertainty. Jung taught that emotional resilience is essential. Awareness must be tempered with discipline, mindfulness, and self-reflection. By confronting one's own unconscious biases and fears, the perceptive individual ensures that their insight leads to clarity, not chaos. To action, not paralysis. Practical habits can reinforce this integration of perception and action. Journaling, meditation, and reflective observation cultivate attentiveness to subtle patterns. Active listening and empathy deepen understanding of people. Strategic thinking and ethical discernment guide the application of insight in professional and social contexts. Jung emphasized that these practices are not optional. They are essential for harnessing the power of awareness without being consumed by it. Ultimately, Part 5 emphasizes that seeing what others cannot is not an abstract gift, it is a tool for daily life. It allows one to navigate complexity, foster trust, and create meaningful influence. Awareness becomes a bridge between hidden realities and conscious choices, a source of resilience and moral clarity. The perceptive individual does not simply notice the unseen. They act upon it with intention, transforming both themselves and the world around them. Jung's teachings remind us that insight carries responsibility. Applied wisely, it empowers. Applied carelessly, it isolates. Part 5 underscores the practical dimension of perception. It is not enough to see. One must do. The gift of perception is only as valuable as the purposeful actions it inspires. Seeing what others cannot is a gift, but it carries profound risks. Carl Jung warned that perception beyond the ordinary exposes one to solitude, misunderstanding, and even danger. Those who notice hidden truths often feel alienated. They perceive patterns, intentions, and consequences invisible to the crowd. While ordinary minds remain comfortable in their ignorance, the perceptive individual must navigate a landscape of complexity few others comprehend. Part 6 explores these risks and shows how emotional intelligence, discipline, and inner resilience transform insight from a burden into a source of strength. Isolation is perhaps the most immediate risk. When you perceive the unseen, the subtle deceit, the suppressed emotions, or the hidden agendas, you often realize that others cannot or will not acknowledge these truths. Colleagues, friends, or even loved ones may dismiss your observations, labeling your insight as overthinking or paranoia. Jung highlighted that this is not a flaw of perception, but a consequence of heightened awareness. Recognizing this reality requires courage. The perceptive mind must accept solitude as a companion, learning to find strength in clarity rather than approval. Another risk is emotional overwhelm. Awareness of hidden suffering, unspoken resentment, or systemic injustice can stir powerful emotions, anger, sorrow, or anxiety. The untrained mind may react impulsively, confronting, criticizing, or withdrawing, often causing friction or miscommunication. Emotional intelligence becomes crucial. Jung's teachings emphasize the ability to process emotions internally, to observe without immediate reaction, and to respond with intention. By mastering emotional regulation, the perceptive individual channels insight productively, transforming distress into constructive action rather than destructive impulse. Perceptive individuals also face ethical dilemmas. Seeing hidden truths sometimes forces choices that are morally complex. Do you reveal secrets that could harm or protect others? Do you act in ways invisible to the majority, trusting that the consequences are just? Jung underscored that perception without ethical grounding can become dangerous. Intelligence alone is insufficient. Insight must be guided by conscience. Emotional intelligence, the awareness of both your own motives and the impact of your actions on others, serves as the compass. In these challenging situations, strategic patience is another tool for mitigating risk. Perception often uncovers truths that require careful timing to act upon. Immediate action may trigger resistance or misunderstanding, whereas thoughtful observation and deliberate execution can produce meaningful outcomes. Jung argued that awareness paired with patience allows the perceptive individual to act decisively, balancing the power of insight with prudence. This approach prevents isolation from turning into frustration, and prevents insight from becoming a source of harm. Practical application of emotional intelligence includes developing self-reflection, mindfulness, and empathetic understanding, journaling hidden observations, meditating on emotional responses, and studying human behavior deepen one's capacity to navigate the invisible landscape effectively. Engaging in dialogue with trusted allies, rather than seeking universal validation, helps ground perception in reality and provides support when confronting complex challenges. Jung believed that these practices strengthen resilience, enabling the perceptive individual to harness insight without being consumed by it. Ultimately, Part 6 reinforces a critical lesson. The ability to see what others cannot is not merely an intellectual skill. It is a profound psychological responsibility. Insight without emotional intelligence leads to isolation, impulsive action, or ethical compromise. Conversely, when perception is balanced by self-awareness, empathy, and ethical discernment, it becomes a powerful force for transformation. The perceptive individual navigates complexity with grace, converts knowledge into meaningful action, and cultivates inner strength that inspires rather than intimidates. Jung's warning resonates here. Seeing beyond the surface can be dangerous, but mastering the mind, emotions, and conscience transforms danger into mastery. The perceptive individual is not just an observer. They are a guide, a strategist, and a moral force. Awareness, when tempered by emotional intelligence, becomes a lighthouse in the chaos, illuminating the path for both self and others. To see what others cannot is to walk a path few dare to tread. Carl Jung warned that this visionary journey is both a gift and a trial, demanding courage, self-discipline, and unwavering clarity of purpose. Part 7 brings our exploration to its apex, showing how the perceptive individual can integrate insight, overcome the perils of isolation, and transform hidden understanding into a force for profound personal and societal change. The first truth of the visionary path is acceptance. To perceive hidden realities is to confront the uncomfortable truth that most of the world lives in partial awareness. This knowledge can be disorienting. Friends may misinterpret your intentions, colleagues may challenge your judgments, and society may resist truths that threaten comfort. Jung emphasized that the perceptive individual must embrace this reality. Isolation is not punishment, but a natural consequence of elevated awareness. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means recognizing the landscape you navigate, preparing for resistance, and understanding that clarity often comes before consensus. The second truth is responsibility. Insight is meaningless without the discipline to act wisely. Seeing what others cannot comes with a weight of moral and practical responsibility. Should you reveal what is hidden, and if so, how? Should you intervene in a subtle injustice, or wait for the opportune moment? Jung's guidance reminds us that perception divorced from ethical discernment can become destructive. Emotional intelligence and self-awareness are indispensable. Understanding your motives, anticipating the impact of your actions, and aligning insight with conscience are the cornerstones of responsible perception. The visionary does not act impulsively but with foresight, balancing courage with prudence. A third truth is resilience. The visionary path tests both mind and spirit. Emotional turbulence, skepticism from others, and internal doubt are constant companions. Here, Jung's warning becomes a call to cultivate inner fortitude. Meditation, reflection, and disciplined thought fortify the psyche. By grounding insight in routine, self-care, and connection with a few trusted allies, the perceptive individual withstands the isolation and pressure that accompany unique awareness. Resilience transforms the burden of perception into empowerment, allowing insight to remain a source of growth rather than a cause of despair. The fourth truth is transformation. Perception beyond the ordinary is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is a catalyst for profound personal and societal evolution. When balanced with empathy and ethical judgment, insight becomes action, subtle interventions that inspire change, thoughtful guidance that corrects hidden wrongs, and compassionate understanding that nurtures those unaware of the truths shaping their lives. Jung saw this capacity as the essence of human potential. The visionary integrates knowledge with conscience, creating a ripple effect that elevates not only themselves, but those around them. Finally, the ultimate warning: the visionary path is not for the faint of heart. Seeing what others cannot will expose you to skepticism, envy, and misunderstanding. Yet, it is precisely through embracing these challenges that mastery is achieved. The perceptive individual learns to navigate paradox, to act with courage tempered by wisdom, and to cultivate clarity in a world eager for distraction. Jung's message is clear. Awareness is a double-edged sword, but when wielded with discipline, integrity, and resilience, it becomes the defining strength of those who dare to see beyond. To walk this path is to embrace both the burden and the brilliance of heightened perception. The visionary mind transforms solitude into insight, challenge into mastery, and hidden truths into tools of personal and collective growth. In the end, Carl Jung's warning is not a deterrent, but a call to courage. The danger lies not in seeing what others cannot, but in failing to act wisely with the vision you possess. Those who heed this path will discover a life of profound depth, clarity, and purpose. The gift of seeing what others cannot is, ultimately, the gateway to extraordinary transformation, a journey that demands vigilance, fortitude, and unwavering commitment to both truth and conscience.